Again, Erev Shabbos, the covered Shabbos Kodesh. Thank you for joining us for Turn Friday into Erev Shabbos, the last one of the year, Tafshin Pei Aleph. Put your hands together. It is not Friday, it's Erev Shabbos. Shabbos, Vayei Shabbos. I want to thank our generous sponsors for the series, Mendy and Sipora Fishman. Our dear friends, as Chus for Chai Rivka Sipora Friedel, in memory of Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, of Yaakov Tzvi ben David Aryeh, Zechron Levracha. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. Shabbos is coming. The last Shabbos of the year is coming. All that we do in getting ready and prepare is L'Kavod Shabbos Kodesh. Here comes that siren. Here comes L'Kavod Shabbos Kodesh. Kavod Shabbos. There it is. Thank you for joining us once again. We are going to take a break from B'Yam Derachacha and share with you some other insights appropriate for this final Shabbos of the year. First, from the Sachat Rebbe, the Shem Shmuel, says Rav Shmuel of Sachat, the Shem Shmuel, in a Shabbos zu Achron Shabbos, this is the final and last Shabbos of the year. V'yesh l'sakein ba'kol ma shehechzer b'chol Shabbos hashana. And therefore, we have the opportunity to repair. We have the opportunity to make up for what was missing the entire year. Maybe those Fridays we treated like other weekdays. Maybe we neglected to treat Friday as Erev Shabbos. Maybe we stumbled or tripped or rolled into Shabbos exhausted and spent, and we had nothing left to give Shabbos in order to honor the Holy Shabbos. Maybe we didn't practice the Dvekas. We didn't cling and cleave to Hashem, Va'oneg, or get the joy. But this Shabbos, when we live this Shabbos properly, when we are ready early and there's music playing and our Shabbos table is set, when we're able to focus on mincha, we're able to light candles with kavanah, with mindfulness, when we're able to connect with Hashem, the Shabbos misaken kol Shabbosos Hashana. We repair all the Shabbos of the year. Kol ha'oros mikol Shabbosos Hashana kulam nikbetzu bo b'Shabbosu. The light of all of the Shabbos of the year, they come together, and it is the brightest, it is the most shining, it is the most illuminating light on this, the final Shabbos of the year, when we come into it correctly, when we live it most fully. And so we have an opportunity. Maybe we struggle to turn Friday into Erev Shabbos, no matter if you've listened, no matter if you're part of our WhatsApp group, but we struggle to be mindful and to remember. But this is our day. This is our weekend. This is our Shabbos. Because when we do it, when we've got all we've got, give it all we've got, and we come to that Shabbos table with energy and enthusiasm, with a positive attitude, and prepared with Divrei Torah and conversations and a story and Zmiros, then we're able to repair for the Shabboses and the turn Friday into Erev Shabboses of the entire year. The Slonim Rebbe is Nitziva Shalom on our Parsha Nitzavim, tells us, the Pasuk tells us, V'shavta Hashem Elokecha v'shamata b'kolo. In our Parsha in Nitzavim, it tells us that we should return to Hashem and listen to His voice. We return, no matter how far we've distanced, no matter how far we've strayed, we come back, we return, and we listen to His voice. And the Torah tells us, very interesting, Shabbos hu osios Boshes. Shabbos are comprised of the same letters, Shin Beis Saf and Beis Shin Taf, the same letters, Shabbos and Boshes. Why? She'elohim Beis Chelke HaTshuva. These are two parts of Tshuva. HaShabbos Kodesh Rabu Shemach Masakar Sachit Ad Ki Elokai Boshti V'Nechlamti Laharim Panay Elecha Hachet Nogeh Laguf El Neshama. The mistakes that we made, they contaminate. The mistakes that we made, they compromise, they corrupt both our soul and our body. The Godel Abusha, but when we have a sense of shame, when we have a healthy sense of guilt, Hakara Sachet, we have a recognition of that contamination, of the damage we've done through the poor choices we've made, then we can be Metaher, the Guf. Avataras Haneshama, but how do we purify the soul? The body, the mistakes we've made with our hands, our eyes, our mouth, we listened, we spoke, we looked, we went, we did, we acted out, that remorse, regret, commitment for the future, that boshes, that sense of shame, that sense of guilt, that healthy self-awareness of the mistakes that we've made and how much better we need to be, that helps us repair the damage of the body. But what about the neshama? How do you purify the neshama? How do you come back from the neshama? That's Ayidei HaShabbos Shu Yom HaDinishmasa. Shabbos is the day of the soul, the neshama Yisera. Shabbos we dwell on and invest in and have an awareness of. Shabbos we have an expanded soul. Habusha v'hakaras achetim inyan hakaras shiflos atzmo. So when we have shame and guilt and we realize how low we stooped, how low we fell, how that behavior was beneath us, was pasnished, that's how we repair the damage to the body. That's That is shiflas atzmo, to see the loneliness, the unworthiness within us. But Shabbos, that's godless. Shabbos is our greatness. Shabbos, we're angelic. Shabbos, we're holy. Shabbos, we're all capable and potential. Shabbos, we lift ourselves up. And so Shabbos and Boshes and Shavta are all comprised of the same letters. Tshuva, to return through a sense of shame and guilt, and through Shabbos. How do we come back to God? How are we v'shavta ad Hashem Elokecha? How do we repair? How do we return? How do we come back? How do we take away that distance, that divide? How do we make sure there's no daylight? Through Boshes and Shabbos. A healthy sense of shame and guilt takes care of the mistakes of the body, and a commitment and a transformation through Shabbos takes care of the neshama. Why? Because says the Slonim Rebbe, Shoresh HaTshuva, who is spotless. What is tshuva? Tshuva is spotless, to nullify. It's not about me. I'm not the center of the universe. Not about my ego, my want, my arrogance, my envy, my anxiety. Tshuva is the recognition that I'm not the center of the universe. God is. He doesn't work for us. We work for Him. I have to be mevatel. I have to nullify and relinquish, and I have to recognize and replace my ego, my anochi, with His. How do I do that? So shame and guilt do that for the body, but Shabbos does that for the soul. Zoe shleimas hatshuva. Ayidei b'shavta Hashem lekecha. Ayidei beis chelkei hatshuva. Through these two parts, the Jew comes to a hakara. The Jew comes to a recognition that we need to come close. We need to connect. We need to return to Hashem. We need to return to Hashem. V'shavta. How do we return? Same letters. V'shavta, we return through Shabbos and through Boshes. Tshuva is so great, it brings us close to Shechina. Shechina is the name we have for God when He's accessible, when He's available. Like a shachen, like a good neighbor, God is there. He is a shachen, Shechina. God is accessible, He's available, He's there. How do we feel His intense presence? How do we feel He's there, He's available, He's accessible? How do we achieve that level of tshuva? So we do it through a sense of Shabbos. That's what Shabbos is about. Shabbos is 25 hours with Shechina. We set aside the noise and the distractions and the interruptions. God is not competing for our attention. The Shechina and we are together. And that's we go out to the field and we welcome the Shabbos queen and we welcome the king into our home and we set our table and we live with royalty and majesty and in conversation and in the presence of Hashem, the Shechina. That is tshuva. Tshuva is the return. The Rambam writes, Hilchos Tshuva Perek Zayin, Gedola Tshuva Mekareves Adam L'Shechina. And how do we do that? What's the mechanism or the means? Says the Slonim Rebbe, we do that through Boshes and we do that through Shabbos. So Shabbos is not just, it happens to be, it's the last Shabbos of the year. It happens to be that Shabbos comes before Rosh Hashanah. Next week will happen to be Shabbos Shuvah. There is no happens to be Shabbos Shuvah. Shabbos Shuvah is not just Shabbos happens to fall within Aseret Yemei Shuvah. It's that Shabbos is a catalyst. It's a Kickstarter. Shabbos is a springboard for Tshuva, because we set aside that noise and we isolate ourselves and we spend time with the Almighty, with that intense sense of the Shechina, of clinging and cleaving to Him, of feeling His presence, of cutting out all the distractions, of realigning our priorities and our values, of reminding ourselves the best of who we could be and what our lives could look like on Shabbos, which gives us the energy to bring it into the rest of the week. So my dear friends, as the Shem Yishmuel, the Sachat Shavar said, this is our Shabbos. V'shavta, through Boshes. We worked on that with Slichos every morning this week, and we'll return to Slichos next week. That's Boshes. That's shame, and that's guilt, and that's honesty, that's regret, that's remorse, that's commitment for the future. That was a good hard look in the mirror. That was being honest with ourselves and living with self-awareness. That's Boshes of the weekday. But the same letters, Boshes, are Shabbos. Shabbos is not about beating ourselves down. Shabbos is not about guilt. Shabbos is not about shame. Shabbos is about godless, our greatness. Shabbos is about the presence of the Almighty. Shabbos and V'shavta. Shabbos is about going back to who we could be. During the weekday, the pursuit of the material, the physical, during the pursuit of more, a name, friends, followers, all of that set us astray. Shabbos is V'shavta. Shabbos we return. Shabbos we come back. Shabbos we come home. Shabbos we lift ourselves up and we restore ourselves to who we could be all along. So on this last Shabbos, first of all, on this last Friday, let's take advantage on this last and final Friday to truly turn Friday into Erev Shabbos, and then let's spend Shabbos with a true Shabbos. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay holy, my friends. See you next year. Next Friday, next Erev Shabbos. We'll turn Friday into Erev Shabbos in the new year. Have a wonderful Shabbos, everybody. Ay, 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 Shabbos. Hey, ay, my Shabbos. Ay, 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 Shabbos. Ay, ay, Shabbos. Here comes the siren. Get ready. Don't be late. This is your Friday, the last one of the year. Repair all the ones before. Get ready. Don't be late. Count down. Be happy. Be joyous. Be festive. Because Shabbos is coming. A Gittin Shabbos, everybody.